My sister Tracy is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always try to abide.
Since the Braxtons came back to our screens, it has been nothing but drama. It seems like these sisters just cannot get along, and every day there is something new about their problems. Recently, Toni has been talking about how tired she is and how she has had to carry her family for so many years. She remembered when she was about 13 or 14 years old. Her mother had a serious accident and hurt her back badly, which meant she had to stay in the hospital for a long time. During that time, Toni had to step in and act as a parent. Their father was busy working to take care of 6 children, so the responsibility fell on her. When Toni was asked what her life would have looked like if she did not have to take on that responsibility, she explained that her life would have been very different. She said, "I would have soared higher." There is no doubt that Toni is the most successful Braxton sister. She has won 7 Grammys and sold over 70 million albums, making her one of the most successful women in R&B music history. Toni started singing with her sisters in a group called the Braxtons in the late 80s. But it was her solo career that truly made her famous. When she released her first solo album in 1993, it became an instant hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard charts and marking the beginning of her amazing career. Toni Braxton's first album sold more than 10 million copies, and songs like Breathe Again and Another Sad Love Song helped make it a huge success. The album, which featured well-known producers like Babyface and Antonio L.A. Reid, quickly climbed the charts. Toni followed up with another big hit album, Secrets, which included the famous song, Unbreak My Heart. This song became one of the best-selling singles of all time, with over 10 million copies sold around the world. Over the years, Toni has released 9 studio albums, with the latest one coming out in 2020. All of her albums have been successful, adding to her already impressive career. But even though Toni made a lot of money and gained fame from her music, her path has not been easy. She has shared how she had to take care of her entire family early in her career, covering many of their financial needs. It was not easy for her, and she carried a heavy load. Toni explained how she was the one keeping everything together while her sisters took a step back. The only sister who helped her with some of the bills was Tamar. Toni also remembered that after their parents' divorce, her mother did not get much help. Toni decided she would not leave her mother alone and would make sure she was well taken care of. But no one else helped except for Tamar. Toni recalled that no one stepped in to help with their mother's car insurance or other expenses, and it felt like her sisters expected her to handle everything on her own. It hurt Toni even more when, while she was taking care of all the financial needs, her sisters Traci and Towanda asked to be paid for their work with her. In contrast, Tamar, who was also helping with the bills, never asked for anything in return. Toni expressed how upset she felt that, despite her paying for everything, Traci and Towanda still expected to be paid for their roles, even though they were not contributing financially. She also pointed out that Tamar, who had been helping her from the beginning, never charged her for doing background singing. Even with all her success, Toni faced her own financial problems. Despite earning over $170 million in record sales, she had serious financial struggles and filed for bankruptcy more than once. It was a hard reality for someone who had achieved so much, showing that even fame and fortune do not always protect people from financial troubles. Toni Braxton earned millions for her record label, Arista, but she only received less than 35 cents for every album sold. She even took legal action against the label by filing a lawsuit in January 1998, just a few weeks after she filed for bankruptcy. Toni later explained that her financial problems came from her contract with the label. She earned less than $2,000 in royalties and had to pay the label back for things like clothes, travel, studio time, and music videos.
13 or 14, my mom, she had a really bad accident. She fell. Her back was really messed up, so she was in the hospital a long time. And so I was
Things got worse for Toni when she was accused of transferring $53,490 to her husband, Kerry Lewis, during her bankruptcy case. It looked like she was trying to hide money from her creditors. During this time, Toni went on the Oprah Winfrey Show hoping to explain her situation and get some sympathy. Unfortunately, the interview became a humiliating experience for her. She felt Oprah was harsh and unsympathetic. Oprah even made a comment about Toni's spending, saying she had Gucci flatware. Toni felt small and shocked, as she had looked up to Oprah for a long time. She explained, "I loved her so much and admired her, but she pretty much reprimanded me. This moment changed how people saw Toni, and it hurt her career." There were even rumors that Oprah had warned Toni's record label about what was going to happen on the show, making things even worse for her. In 2010, Toni filed for bankruptcy again, but this time it was because of health problems. She was diagnosed with microvascular angina and lupus, which caused her to cancel a big Las Vegas contract. Toni said, "People do not understand that my second bankruptcy happened because I was sick. I had to cancel my show and the insurance did not cover the costs. I had to pay everything myself." Running a show is very expensive, and without insurance to cover her medical expenses, Toni had to face huge financial struggles. In 2019, the IRS filed a lien against Toni for over $340,000 in unpaid taxes for 2017. Soon after, the California Franchise Tax Board also filed a lien for more than $116,000. This added up to almost $500,000 in back taxes. Many people thought Toni's family might have contributed to her money problems, since she had to take care of them while dealing with her illness and financial struggles. When the Braxton sisters' show returned, there were reports of problems over money. Toni and Tamar were paid much more than the others, which caused a big argument. Toni felt she deserved to be paid more than anyone else because of her success. The fight got so bad that the producers had to stop filming. Toni even walked off the set, saying she was done. She also mentioned that before Traci passed away, they all promised to get along, but things had only gotten worse since then. It seems like for Toni, it is not just about money anymore. She is completely tired of all the drama. Recently, there were reports that none of the Braxton sisters showed up to Tamar's premiere party for her cooking show with Miss E. Apparently, a big argument happened just 2 days before the premiere, and that caused the sisters to miss it. Not long after, Towanda started posting some cryptic messages, saying things like, "To everyone who has distanced themselves from me, kindly stay there." Towanda also got married to her longtime partner, Sean Hall, in a small ceremony in Decatur, Georgia, after being together for more than 9 years. Toni and Trina stood by her side as bridesmaids, but Tamar did not attend. The relationship between Tamar and Towanda has always been strained, with long-standing issues that seem to have been building over the years. When the first season of Braxton Family Values aired, viewers quickly realized just how complicated their bond really was. During one episode, Towanda was asked about the lack of communication between her and Tamar, and before Towanda could even begin to express her thoughts, Tamar quickly interrupted and bluntly stated that Towanda simply did not care. Tamar, who has always been outspoken, went on to accuse Towanda of putting more effort into staying in touch with their other sisters, Toni and Trina, than with her. Tamar shared that she was the one who usually made the effort to reach out first, while Towanda only seemed to contact her when the cameras were rolling.
It's okay. It's all right. I got you.
I don't want to talk about that, man.
But it's the truth.
The relationship between Tamar and Towanda has always been strained, with long-standing issues that seem to have been building over the years. When the first season of Braxton Family Values aired, viewers quickly realized just how complicated their bond really was. During one episode, Towanda was asked about the lack of communication between her and Tamar, and before Towanda could even begin to express her thoughts, Tamar quickly interrupted and bluntly stated that Towanda simply did not care. Tamar, who has always been outspoken, went on to accuse Towanda of putting more effort into staying in touch with their other sisters, Toni and Trina, than with her. Tamar shared that she was the one who usually made the effort to reach out first, while Towanda only seemed to contact her when the cameras were rolling. This moment encapsulated the tension that had been building for years. Tamar's words highlighted her sense of abandonment, claiming that her sister Towanda was emotionally distant and only engaged when it was convenient or when it involved work. Tamar's comments were telling, as they reflected a deeper feeling of neglect. Tamar even went as far as to mention that Towanda had failed to reach out to her for her birthday in September, despite the fact that they were filming the show in March, implying that Towanda was either too busy or simply uninterested in staying connected on a personal level. Towanda, on the other hand, admitted that she was not entirely sure when they last spoke, but she also acknowledged that Tamar did not make an effort to contact her for her birthday. Towanda seemed to be at a point where she had reached her limit. She made it clear that she was no longer concerned with trying to fix her relationship with Tamar. Towanda shared that her focus was now solely on her immediate family, her children, and her partner, and that her priorities had shifted away from the ongoing family drama. As the drama continued to unfold in front of the cameras, it became clear that the Braxton sisters were no longer able to maintain the close bond that they once had. Fans of the show began to pick sides. Some believed that Towanda had carried unresolved issues with Tamar for a long time, and that these frustrations were finally coming to the surface. Towanda, they argued, was tired of the constant tension and had reached a breaking point. Others, however, speculated that Towanda's issues with Tamar were rooted in jealousy. Perhaps Towanda resented Tamar's success or felt overshadowed by her sister's celebrity status. These ongoing conflicts have left many wondering whether the root of the issues lies in years of unspoken grievances or if the competition between the sisters, both in terms of fame and personal dynamics, has fueled the divide. Towanda's shift in focus towards her own family might be a sign that she no longer wishes to engage in the drama, but it also indicates how deeply personal the rift has become. Tamar, on the other hand, has continued to vocalize her frustrations, further escalating the tension. Ultimately, this conflict between the two sisters is a reflection of deeper emotional wounds and unresolved issues that have been brewing for years. The dynamic between Tamar and Towanda is complex, filled with a mix of love, resentment, competition, and hurt. The breakdown in their relationship also serves as a reminder that sibling relationships, especially when complicated by fame and family business, can be incredibly challenging to navigate. As the Braxtons continue to share their lives with the public, it is clear that the road to reconciliation, if there is one, will require a lot of healing and open communication. The tension within the Braxton family has clearly been building, and it is now affecting everyone involved, especially Toni, who seems to have had enough of the drama. The constant family conflicts, particularly between Tamar and Towanda, have taken a toll on all the sisters, and it appears that Toni is no longer willing to engage in the chaos. This pressure is not only affecting their relationships, but also spilling over onto social media, where Tamar's emotional breakdown has caught the attention of fans and the public. Tamar's posts on social media revealed just how much pain and frustration she was feeling at the time. In a series of emotional messages, Tamar called her family toxic and shared that she was struggling with gaslighting and emotional manipulation. She expressed her pain by saying, "Y'all have no idea. None of the gaslighting is crazy, and I'm going back into treatment. I just pray that my marriage can be saved and my life can be spared. My family is awful." These posts showed just how deeply hurt Tamar was by the ongoing conflicts and how much she felt her family had played a role in her emotional struggles. To make matters worse, Tamar took the step of blocking her sister Toni on social media, adding another layer of tension to an already strained relationship. Toni only discovered she had been blocked when she tried to tag Tamar in a birthday post, only to find out that she was no longer able to connect with her sister online. Toni shared her disappointment on social media, saying, "I wanted to repost that gorgeous picture of you, but I'm blocked again." Anyway, happy birthday, Tay. This public exchange further highlights the growing divide between the sisters, with each one retreating further into their own emotional space. The situation is a clear sign that the family dynamics are far from being resolved, and it will take a lot of effort and healing for things to improve. Later, Tamar responded, saying that Toni was gaslighting her and that Toni could have just called instead of posting about it. Tamar even shared screenshots of a text conversation between them from the day before, where they were trying to figure out which city the other was in. The drama just keeps going, and it makes you wonder if Toni, who has been the main breadwinner for the family for many years, has been drained by all of this. Some people believe that all the emotional stress from her family's issues might have even played a part in her health problems. What do you think? Do you believe that Toni's family contributed to her struggles, both financially and emotionally? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.